Hey, best friends. I'm Yana.
And I'm Claire.
Welcome to
My Best Friend's Book Club.
Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you here. I hope you're doing really well. You're having a great Thursday. I hope the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, but not when you were trying to sleep.
Yana, what do we do here?
We hang out as best friends. We talk a lot of shit, but we also read books. You know what's really cool, Claire?
What?
We read them for people in case they don't want to read, but we also read alongside of you in case you do want to join us in our Best Friends Book Club. We are not a closed best friend group. Like, Claire and I are definitely going to be the bestest of the friends in the group, but yeah, forever. But if you guys want to still be our best-ish friend, you're welcome to join us, and you're welcome to email us. You're welcome to DM us. You're welcome to see us at the grocery store and be like, hey, are you Claire and Yana from My Best Friends Book Club? And we'll tell you, yeah, we are, but no photos, please.
Please respect my
Please
privacy.
respect my privacy. But yeah, so if you guys want to read alongside of us, please take a look at our reader calendar. It's pinned to the top of our socials. And if you don't want to read with us, you just want to listen to us just gab, go ahead and tune in every Thursday, and we will summarize the book for you. And we'll also add in a little bit of our own commentary. And you know what? We got important shit to say.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the best you've ever articulated it. And I think maybe it's because
I had coffee instead of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. But Claire, what are we reading?
The Book Club for Troublesome Women.
What a fascinating title. And who is that by?
Marie Boswick.
Claire, I was wondering if you wanted me to remind you what our 50 pages-ish last week were about. Do you need that?
You know what? I think we could all use a refresher of what happened last week.
I'm glad you say that because I too could use the refresher. I would love to tell you guys about that if you would like to hear it. If you don't, there's a fast forward button, and eventually you'll get to where you want to stop.
Or you could use the chapter markers.
Yeah, or you can just freaking listen. It's going to be like 1 second. Anyway, our girl Margaret, she's buying books. She's like, hey, I love to read. I'm going to find a podcast about best friends reading. Just kidding. It's not the time of podcast yet.
It's the 1960s.
Yep. So Margaret is out and about planning the next book club book. She also is getting a little gift for her husband, just trying to keep him happy because God forbid the man's not. And then book club this time is at Charlotte's house, and the house is kind of a mess, and she's fighting with her daughter, Denise. And Margaret's kind of using the opportunity to grow a little closer with Charlotte and learn a little bit about her marriage and her relationship to Lawrence, the artist, and just recognizing that Charlotte's kind of a mess and also seems to be in a very unhappy marriage, if not really nothing like a marriage. I don't know, just kind of like meh. Anyway,
we learn more about that in these pages.
Yes. We also get to learn a little bit more about Bitsy's story with her husband, King, and the anger she feels for him because of the changes she's had to make and the expectations that King had for her, but also just society.
Yeah, she wanted to be a vet, but she couldn't.
The other big thing that happened in those 50 pages is that Margaret got her copy of the first Woman's Place magazine with her column in it, and the check is made out to her, and she's really excited about that. It seems to have been well received from the Woman's Place offices so far. Like, they're positive about her. So yeah, now, Claire, I would really love it if you could share with us a little bit about these next 50-ish pages.
How much would you love it?
I'd love it so hard.
Knew you were going to say that. So hard.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Every time you speak is just so beautiful.
It's like the angels are singing. That's how I feel about you. That's why I know the feeling so well.
You get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I just can't wait. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at your face while you talk.
Wow. I love that for us.
I love that for our listeners, too.
Don't drop eye contact the entire time, okay?
I won't. I'm not even going to blink. I wish everyone knew how beautiful you are.
Right back at you. Okay, this week's set of pages. we kick things off at the stables where Bitsy works, and she notices that one of the horses, Delilah. Oh, that's why you were singing that song. I get it now.
6.9.
That's where you're getting hired next.
Warm 106.9. Delilah.
Okay, so Delilah, who belongs to a wealthy client named Miss Graham, the horse is standing funny, okay? She's standing funny. You're looking funny, girl.
That's her veterinary diagnosis.
That's right. I'm a professional. And Bitsy immediately recognizes that this is serious. It's this disease called laminitis. And this is a painful inflammation in the hoof. And if it goes untreated, it's fatal. Remember, this is the 1960s, so medicine has not progressed for animals either.
That's painful.
Yeah, I Googled it. So King, Bitsy's husband, remember, he's a vet. She calls him and he comes to examine Delilah, and he basically is like, this is not treatable and we need to put the horse down. And Miss Graham, she doesn't know about horses, and she just kind of nods and feels like, he's a vet, so he must know. But then Bitsy's like, I have to say something because she saw her father treat horses. It's a chronic illness, so it never goes away, but there's long-term treatment, so you don't have to put the horses down. And so she's like, I have to say something and go against her husband because she wants to save the horse's life.
You know what they say, see something, say something.
That's right. That's what I always say.
And she's been following that rule for a long time. She's before her time.
Yeah, that's right. So she tells this to Miss Graham. She's like, my father did this. Let me try to treat the horse. And King is fucking pissed off about this. He basically weaponizes her shame that she didn't finish veterinary school.
So mean.
He calls her a college dropout, and he just really undermines her in front of Miss Graham. It was really brutal, honestly.
It was really brutal.
But Bitsy, she takes a big old gulp and she's just like pissed off, but she's going to hold her ground. So she looks Miss Graham in the eye and she's like, you know what? I did drop out. I
was a woman.
Yep. But I saw my father treat this and I feel confident that I can do this. At a minimum, we can give the horse a fighting chance. So Miss Graham is like, all right, let's give it a try. And of course, King is like really extra pissed off now because how dare these two women disagree with him? And he storms out of the stables and he slams the door. Little bitch.
Such a little bitch.
You know what? I'm so tired of hearing that like women are emotional. I feel like that's an incredibly emotional response. So Bitsy, she needs help while she's attending to the horse. She's going to like spend a couple nights with Delilah to make sure that the treatment is working. And she's trying to get a hold of King to see if he can feed the pets that they own together in the house that they live together. And he's not answering. He's like ghosting her at this point. So she calls Margaret and is like, can you go feed my pets? Because King won't talk to me now. Of course.
Because I said I'd save a horse.
I know, right? So then Margaret's like, of course. And then she assembles the Bettys and they all go to Bitsy at the stables. And Margaret brings her vegetarian food. Viv sews these waterproof socks for the horse that are supposed to be part of the treatment. And Charlotte brings hottie toddies because, come on.
Yeah.
And
help pass the time.
She's also wearing alligator pumps in her mink coat. And I just had to say that because I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
So by the end of the evening, Bitsy's feeling a bit better. And so Charlotte raises her hot toddy in a toast. And she basically says that it's to King and uses the unholy word that is fuck. And basically says that King can go fuck himself. And he can just remain on his high horse that he fucked off on. And the women are like shocked.
Yeah. Absolutely shook.
Because you don't say fuck as a 1960s woman. But they all really laugh a lot. And I think they all are like, yeah, he can't fuck off.
They got kind of like giddy with it. Like
yeah,
the fact that she said it. It's like, okay, so if she said it now, we can like, yeah we're in a safe space now to do this. Like, yeah fuck off.
So back at home now, we're with Viv, and remember, she's been hiding her pregnancy from her husband, Tony. He knows about her job, though, thank goodness. But that night, while she's getting undressed, he opens the restroom door and sees her baby bump. And then his reaction is also the unholy single word that is fuck. But this time,
You and I are so unholy.
I know. But nobody laughs this time. There's no giggling. So... And now we're with Margaret, and she's gotten her first paycheck, so she heads to the bank to open her own savings account. And she's told that even though the check is in her name, she's not able to open an account without her husband's signature. We got to talk about this in discussion. So the bank is like, sorry, ma'am. They give her a document and say, you can give this to your husband. He can fill it out. He can sign it. So she's like, whatever. She storms off. She heads to a donut shop. She eats 3 jelly donuts, and then she forges his signature. She marches right back up in there and is like, I met my husband for a coffee break. Here it is. And honestly, it was incredible. I feel like they kind of knew that she forged it, but they didn't. They didn't have the audacity to say, okay. So then on her way home, Margaret, she's thinking about her column. She loves it. She is like feeling validated in her skills, but she's starting to get frustrated that every time she tries to weave something more meaningful into her work, her grumpy editor, Leonard, he always strikes it out and is like, hey, this is a silly woman, upbeat thing. No serious matters in this column. But when she gets home, she sees Charlotte's daughter, Denise, is sitting on her doorstep. And she's there to ask Margaret to read her Oxford application essay. She really wants to go to Oxford. And Margaret reads it. She says it's remarkable. But we also find out that this isn't the only reason she came. She tells her that last year Charlotte overdosed on sleeping pills and spent a month in a psychiatric hospital. Denise is the one who found her unresponsive, and she had to handle the whole thing, while Howard, Charlotte's incredible husband, was skiing in Vermont.
Such a rich person thing to do, too.
But Howard shows up, thank goodness, and he told the doctors that Charlotte's been acting erratic and unstable, and he basically used that to get her committed into this psychiatric hospital, and he only agrees to let her leave if she leaves New York and moves to Concordia. But Denise really believes that this was an accidental overdose. She didn't feel like her mom was truly trying to unalive herself, but her husband really took the opportunity to exile her, which I have questions about that, but anyway. But don't worry, Denise isn't done with her big confession. I remember reading this and I was like, where are we fucking going with this story? She also tells Margaret that Howard's not her biological father. Charlotte got pregnant when she was 21 by a club caddy, not a rich man. And her father basically arranged this hasty marriage with Howard, who was this ambitious lower-level employee at the father's firm. And he did this to keep everything under wraps.
I don't remember if I didn't catch this or if I don't just remember because,
Yeah, it's you.
Thank you.
No offense.
But
you're perfect.
None taken. But does Howard know that Denise isn't his? Does he know that she was already pregnant when they got married?
I think so.
Okay.
The way I read this was that he agreed to this only because he was a lower level employee who's promised a brighter future.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember if maybe I missed something.
Yeah, which is why they seem to have a very loveless marriage. He doesn't really give a fuck about her. He cheats on her a bunch. But Charlotte, even though she kind of has her crush on Lawrence, the painter man, she's not allowed to do anything about it, which we'll talk about at the end here. But Denise has known her whole life that Howard is not her real father, and she knows that she needs to keep an eye out for Charlotte, obviously, because Howard doesn't give a fuck about her. So sad. And she's leaving for college, and she's terrified that there's not going to be anyone to look after her. So her big reason for coming was to ask Margaret to look after her mom. And Margaret's basically like, I'll do my best. It's a heavy thing. So fast forward to June. Bitsy's horse that she's taking care of, Delilah's doing great. Even King admitted that the horse looks practically good as new. And he came home after disappearing for several days.
Yep.
He had roses. He's been doing all these good gestures, trying to make up for his behavior. Honestly, it's a lot to the point that made me suspicious of like, where were you for these several days, sir? But don't worry, even though he brought roses and such, he still will not apologize. And he still will not admit that Bitsy was right about how to treat this horse. I'm just going to pocket that right there and move that into discussion. So the Bettys are now meeting for book club. They're at a soda fountain. And
so fun.
Soda fountain. You want to go to the soda fountain later?
I would love to with you.
And the only person who's not here from the book club is Charlotte. She's been MIA for quite a while now. She's been planning Denise's graduation party, which her husband, Howard, basically hijacked into this glamorous corporate networking event. It doesn't even really feel like it's about Denise at all. So of the three women, Margaret's the only one who read the book. The others didn't like it. So there's not much discussion on that. But we do learn that Bitsy thinks that she finally might be pregnant, which I have in discussion. So now we're at the graduation party, and Charlotte is nowhere to be found. The Bettys are in a group. They're chatting with their husbands, and Viv's husband, Tony, brings up Margaret's column. At this point, she's published a few, and he looks at Walt, Margaret's husband, and is like, "You must be so proud of her." And Walt's like, as long as her housewife duties don't slip, the kids are taken care of, I have no problem with her little job, her hobby. So he now says this to the whole group. And if you remember, in the previous episodes, when he called her job a hobby, he apologized because he knew that it was fucking rude. So Margaret is pissed. And she starts to try to call him out, but she thinks better of it. Viv clocks it and is like, you know what? Why don't we all go get a drink? Kind of get them away from Walt. So they do. Meanwhile, Charlotte is upstairs on the phone with Lawrence, our painter man, and we find out that he's coming to DC to meet with the curator at the gallery where Charlotte took the Bettys, and she's hoping that Lawrence can put in a good word for her with the curator when they're discussing his pieces. But before that conversation can go anywhere, her mother, Patricia, walks in.
Biggest bitch in all the land.
And she's a real snatch attack.
Mm-hmm.
She's the
queen of the snatch attacks.
She's the queen of the snatches. She basically is like, you need to get off the phone. So she does. And she tells Charlotte that she better not cause a scandal or try to divorce Howard because the family will side with Howard in a custody battle. And Charlotte's history of instability, her psychiatric visit, will be used against her. She will lose her children. So then Patricia, to add injury to insult.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, what she said, I can't get popular sayings right ever. So Patricia, she takes Charlotte's martini, she knocks it down, she tells her lipstick sucks, it's the wrong shade for her face, and she walks out. And that's where it ends.
She's a bitch.
Yeah, she's really fucking mean.
She's so mean. It is so mean to just also give your daughter the heads up that, by the way, you're gonna be nothing.
I know.
Meanwhile, he's cheating on her all over the place, and she tells her mom that.
Yeah.
And her mom still doesn't matter. Even if it's just flirting with Lawrence, do not embarrass this family.
I just I didn't realize how trapped Charlotte was this entire time because we didn't know much about Howard and the situation. Also, it's super shitty that he could get custody of Denise when he's not even her biological father.
Well, she turned 18, right?
Wait, does that matter in the 1960s? Once you turn 18,
you're an adult.
Are you an adult?
When did 18-year-olds become legal adults?
Yeah, let's Google. We're making a goo for you. Okay, your turn.
God.
Oh, sorry.
In the United States, 18 became the widespread legal age of adulthood during the late 1960s and 1970s.
Also no, then.
The shift was cemented by the 1971 ratification of the 26th Amendment, which lowered the voting age from 21 to 18 in response to the rallying cry of old enough to fight, old enough to vote during the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm. We're learning so much.
I know.
We've learned about like women's education and birth control. Remember the rabbit dies and peeing on the like barley? So Charlotte is fucked and so is Denise, basically. Mm-hmm. If the family, which they sound very powerful, Charlotte's parents aren't on her side, it could like truly destroy her entire life. I have a quote from Charlotte's mom, Patricia, who's the queen of the snatch attacks. She said, "It's a man's world, Charlotte. If you simply learn to accept that, as I have, perhaps you would finally become content to enjoy the highly privileged position you occupy within it."
I mean, that's just like such a classic. Life will just be easier for you if you just accept the way that society is.
Yep.
Just quiet down.
Smile,
Don't make,
be pretty, be proper.
What was that documentary? It's like about like one of the like religion cults and the woman who like.
Those are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Those always freak me the fuck out. I don't know how you get so brainwashed. It's scary. Yeah. And then we end up with these documentaries and they're like, I don't know how I did that. I don't know how you did it either.
Keep sweet, pray and obey is what the documentary is called. It was the polygamist side of the Mormon church, right? Because like with that too, you know, women would try and escape, but then you lose your whole family, you lose your kids, you lose like the ability to do anything.
Religion can be so, it can be so weaponized. Can we just say fucking Walt just one more time? Mm-hmm. Can we all together just say, fuck you, Walt, on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Walt.
You guys better have done that in your cars or wherever you're doing
If you're at
this.
work, we don't care. You better have,
you say fuck you, Walt. Even if your boss sitting next to you is named Walt.
That's
you
right.
Go, fuck you, Walt.
Say it. I mean, I feel like we've talked Walt to death at this point. It's just another moment of him. I mean, to humiliate her like that in front of everyone, though, was like a new fucking low for Walt. You know, and she worked so hard to get on his good side. She bought him the book. She made him his favorite German chocolate cake. It seemed like they were maybe healing. He was like, hey, thanks so much for the book. She got him connected with the bookstore. He's in like a little man book club now.
With the owner of the store.
And then he had to go and fucking do that.
It's like, it's one thing to just not be supportive of this, and it's another to like use it as a humiliation tactic.
Exactly. He even apologized for it earlier, so he knows it's wrong, and he knows
he's just threatened.
Hurtful.
He's threatened.
Little bitch.
But also, he knows that she's getting a little money from this.
He doesn't feel that it's enough to like
even question where that money is.
I feel like she's going to end up with she's going to save and she's going to end up with a big old chunk of money, and he's going to be like shocked by the amount that she has.
Maybe he'll lose his job.
And I'm a little worried about, and maybe I'm just like crazy because I am.
She is, you guys. She really is.
I'm a little worried about her bank account.
I know.
That he, like, because she forged it. And I feel like Walt's going to be a little bitch, as he has been this entire book. And he could roll up in that bank and be like, I did not approve this. That signature. That signature is forged. That's my money. And like, he could just strip everything away from her. Happening. I hope he doesn't do that, but it just made me nervous because he clearly...
Well, and the more people are going to like recognize her success in this, the more he's going to, I think, question, where is that money?
Right. And then I think Margaret, I thought she was gonna, I mean, I don't know how many checks she's gotten at this point, but it sounds like she's written a few columns. She gets $25 per column. Should we convert? What's $25 in the 1960s?
Are you doing it?
Yeah. Oh my God. Today, that converts to $273.79.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so she's
making like $1,000 a month? Is she doing a weekly column now?
I think it is weekly.
Right, it was supposed to be monthly.
Right, but
now
then
it's weekly.
They liked her stuff, so she's writing them more often.
So she's getting like $800 to $1,000 a month. So in today's,
I think
girl, you're gonna get your couch in no time.
I think our girl, she's gonna be able to get all her lamps. You know,
yeah, I hope she does. I hope she's surprised by a sale in lamps and she gets more at once than she expected.
I was surprised that she hasn't bought anything yet. So I was like, is she saving up for something that I don't know about?
What's a couch go for in the 1960s?
I thought she really wanted the lamps more than the couch. But
let's say a nice couch in 1963. Between $100 and $250.
And then so today...
So 2 months of her columns.
So she can get a couch.
Girl, go get your couch soon.
Go get your couch, girl. I hope Walt doesn't fuck this up for her. I hope he gets over whatever's happening inside of his body. But it's like all the things that we've talked about too, they resurface as we've been reading it. So like before we had talked about how women couldn't establish credit or open a bank account, and then it popped up in these pages.
Yep.
So it's like the author is planting all of these big things throughout the whole book that really outline the experience of womanhood in the 1960s. So Margaret, she's really making some money here.
Yeah, that's real money.
Especially she's saving. But she can't open up a bank account in her name without her husband. So if you're not a married woman, first off, the audacity in the 1960s, but because I'm not married, I can go open up an account? Or do I need like my dad?
Your dad would probably co-sign on it.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
There's just like no escaping.
Yeah. It's also shitty because, right, she gets paid in checks. So it's not like she can be like, okay, I'll just like keep an envelope of this money.
No.
It has to go in the bank.
It has her fucking name on it, though. It's, man. All right, I got a quote about this topic. She was really pissed off after this, right? I mean, who wouldn't be? And then she recalled a quote from her mom who said, "Had we waited for men to give us the vote, it never would have happened. We had to demand it ourselves and do the work to see it through." Isn't that just like, it makes my brain just like pop for a second. I know this sounds crazy, but like, of course, these men during this time, I'm not talking about today, would be like, yeah, this is our man's world. And why would we ever advocate for women to do things that we do as well? Like, that happened. Isn't that just like kind of weird?
Because it's like, I feel like this is all stuff like we knew, but also like didn't really know. Like we didn't think about it the way that this book is making us think about it.
Well, yeah, because we're like, it's like I'm making friends with these women and I'm learning about their lives.
Before it was just like a lesson in history.
Yeah, it's like women couldn't do this and they couldn't vote till then. Like that sucks. And you're like, that does fucking suck. But like I'm friends with these girls now and they can't do
them and Patrick Gagney.
Yeah.
Bestie.
And they can't do all these things. And it's like really putting it into perspective and it makes my brain just like fart in my skull sometimes. Ooh. Yeah. You like that?
It's not very ladylike.
What's it called? A brain fart?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Well, I've never just like heard of it expressed as like my brain is farting.
Yeah. It's like multiple farts.
There's a fart in my brain. I can't. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about Bitsy and King. This fucking bitch. Here's the exact quote that King said to Miss Graham when Bitsy was trying to get her to agree to let her treat the horse. He said, Miss Graham, I have been a practicing veterinarian for 15 years, and I'm telling you what any good vet would say in this situation. This animal should be put down. If you'd rather take advice from a woman who picked up what little she knows about medicine from hanging around the barn when she was a teenage girl in pigtails, well, I guess that's your prerogative. But if the horse had to say in the matter, I'm pretty sure she'd ask you to think twice before putting her into the hands of a college dropout.
It's so mean. Also, why gotta bring pigtails into this?
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you?
What if she wasn't wearing pigtails?
She's trying to like belittle her even more.
Also, I fully support education, obviously. I'm very educated myself and so smart.
You're so smart.
But for so much of history, people learned medicine by watching the people before them and the techniques that they used and the herbs that they boiled and like all that crap.
We're going back to herbs boiling.
I mean, but like, right? Like there was a time when it would have been totally appropriate that someone learned something based on watching her father do it to other, to animals back in the day. Like, fuck off, King.
Yeah, well, and medicine is an evolving thing. Totally. We haven't figured out all the things.
Well, she's not saying like, I will go operate on this person who someone else should probably do instead. No, they're like, hey, your choices are this horse dies or this horse dies, maybe. So
fighting chance.
Why we gotta do it like this?
I just don't know why he had to
college dropout.
I'm having a really hard time with the men in this book.
I feel like so far the only one that I'm not like overly pissed at is Viv's husband,
Tony. Yeah. I was just gonna say Tony. The bookshop guy is cool too.
I mean, and maybe
Elliot.
we haven't gotten to Tony's issues yet, but so far, I hate him the least.
I even liked when Tony got upset that Viv hadn't shared her pregnancy.
Yeah, like she felt like she had to lie to him.
And then he found out that she had told the Bettys before him, and he called her out on that and was like, I'm your husband. He used the word like, we're a team.
We're a team.
And I was like, good job, Tony.
Yeah.
One of you motherfuckers is like not the evil 1960s man. So I agree with you. Do you think, though, like when King disappeared...
He cheated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think she does too. I think that's what
Bitsy does?
I think she knows that, that he cheated.
Wait, really?
Well, just because the police had told her, like,
men
disappear all the time, and like, the police insinuated that he's off with another woman.
Yes.
Right? And then offered to be her other man, too.
The advice these women get is so, like, the doctor's like, just have a martini and put on Nat King Cole and you'll certainly get pregnant.
And the police are like, just call me instead and I'll keep you warm at night.
Yeah, that guy was like, if you get really lonely, your husband will come back,
Yeah, eventually, but here's
after
my
he's
phone number.
Done making shenanigans with other women.
But then, I don't know, it was like the way that King returned, right? And was like apologizing in like it'll never happen again kind of way. Made me feel like it was a cheating thing and not just like I just needed a space.
I feel like if he would have apologized, it's like all the actions plus the apology are about this thing right here. But because he disappeared, didn't really say where he was, never brought that up again, it feels like he's quote unquote apologizing for something else.
Yeah.
But then I was surprised to read that Bitsy thinks she's pregnant now. So, like, they obviously...
Well, I mean, he was only gone for 5 days.
Right, so it could have been before, but...
Yeah, especially if they were trying.
But what surprised me was she seemed genuinely excited about that.
Well, she probably thinks that her marriage is going to get better once she gives King what he wants.
I guess I thought...
So she's only 23.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, the audacity to not be pregnant by 23 on it. It's crazy.
I mean... I personally am on my 10th kid.
Oh, no. Yeah. She's actually pregnant right now.
Yeah. I actually just got pregnant again.
That's why we had coffee instead of wine today.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I was thinking that maybe where we were going with Bitsy, and maybe we still are, is that like she always wanted to be a vet, but she couldn't because, no one would write her that letter. And then this whole thing with the horse happens, and I kind of thought it was going to reignite that, and she would like go finish school, or I don't fucking know. Can you do that in the 1960s? And she would take like a bigger pivot into like, I really want to do this thing. She loves horses. She loves animals. But then she was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I could be pregnant. I was just like, girl, what do you want? Tell me. Because I feel like she's being honest. All the Bettys are being honest with each other at this point. So I feel like if she wasn't happy, she would have said, hey, I'm not sure about this. I'm happy about my horses instead.
Yeah.
I don't know, girl. But I don't know.
I don't think she had a choice in it.
Okay. Margaret and her conversation with Charlotte's daughter, Denise. At first, I was reading this and I was like, girl, you're a shitty daughter.
All the family's secrets. You don't know this woman yet. She's lucky. She's lucky that Margaret isn't in this for like the neighborhood gossip to spread, but like actually wants to be friends with these women. She's lucky for that because Denise is definitely giving her dirt that some neighbors would have like thrived with.
Yeah, like that neighbor Margaret talked about who you don't fucking tell anything to. It's funny that we had the same reaction. I was like, girl, you better have a point to this story because you're just giving away all the family secrets at this point.
Hardcore.
But I have some quotes here. This is, I think, kind of speaks to like the cruelty of Howard. Yeah. Denise says, if these were medieval times, he'd have shipped her off to a nunnery or locked her up in a tower. If he was king, maybe he'd just chop her head off. Thankfully, the world is somewhat more civilized now, but not much. Made me think of Henry VIII, who killed all his wives. It's like, that's Howard in my mind.
I think that's him in Denise's mind, too.
You know what? Denise is educated, and so am I. Do you think Charlotte's going to be pissed that Denise told her all this and Margaret knows that she went to a psychiatric facility?
I wonder how
the
much Margaret is going to
overdose.
say she knows, though.
I feel like this stuff with Lawrence is going to heat up and Margaret's probably going to have to step in an uncomfortable way.
Yeah. Well, whatever's happening right now with Charlotte's family, too, is like her mom and dad.
Her mom fucking sucks. You know that those women were spoken to that way growing up, and it's like they know how it feels. Like that's never feels good.
No.
So how they brought it into their adulthood, especially in like if you look at today's time, that people like women, mothers, aunts, they all still do that. It's like why did you hang on to that?
Totally.
You know, it's weird. I got two more things. In their conversation, Denise's conversation, she talks about, I got another quote. She says, "Did you read Frieden's interviews with those college girls who said they didn't want to talk about ideas or abstract things, only boys? And how girls who were too enthusiastic about their studies were considered peculiar or unfeminine? What about the girl who loved bacteriology but switched her major to home economics just to fit in?" I guess this goes into our like religious conversation we're having about brainwashing people.
But also, like, how many scientific advances and discoveries did we miss out on because
women were suppressed?
Yeah. Like, what could we have had if we had given more people the chance to go into those fields?
Yeah, I mean, this bacteria girl went into she went into home economics instead. Maybe we would have a cure for like some crazy bacteria. Look what you did to us. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a hard question about your personal experience, if you don't,
as a woman,
if you don't mind sharing your face.
About what?
Margaret had this whole part where she was like, I don't want to get fired, but I do want to say what I need to say. And like, I'm good at my job, but I don't want to get fired. It made me think about experiences I've had in the workplace where you just have to shut the fuck up. Even though, like, you know, you're right, even though, you know, it's like the best thing for the project or whatever. So I was wondering if you had any stories you could share from your working experience that you would be comfortable sharing. But you don't have to.
I work in a
your whole career. It doesn't have to be right now.
My whole career, though. I've worked in a mostly female company. I feel like I've been able to get my voice across.
Do you feel like you've never really experienced that then?
I feel like it's been
like
more
in the workplace.
I think it's been more in the sense of like, I'm new here. I'm just trying to like figure out kind of what dynamics are and what's allowed and what's not allowed, or I don't feel confident enough yet to share my opinion. But at least now at this point, been where I am for the last 8 years, I'll say what I want to say. I have started to say controversial things, but
only that.
But obviously I don't want to lose my job. But it's just such a different situation than these women back then, because I wouldn't be left with nothing if I did lose my job. And another one would eventually find its way into my cold, cold heart. But like, I can definitely imagine not saying something. But like, I don't know. I fear for Margaret. I'm sure you have lots of experiences as Miss Corpora over here.
Yeah, but I guess it was making me think about even the topic before where it's like there's all these women, and I'm sure it happens to other demographics as well, where we don't ever get to hear what they really had to say or what value they could have truly added if we didn't work or live in a place where there was like that fear of retaliation. You know, it's weird to me that it doesn't seem as bad today as it was in the 1960s or even further back, but it's so weird. I just think it's so weird that that's something that people have to deal with and how oblivious other people are to the fact that it's happening. Like the fact that you have to talk about it or like shed light on it to certain people. And then they're like, oh my God, that really happens? Like I was at a barbecue and I was sharing some of my corporate experiences. And one of them was that I had worked really hard on these projects. Like I designed all of it, literally with my hands and my brain and all my design tools.
And that beautiful face.
This beautiful face of mine.
Killer personality.
And when it came down to presenting the work, I was told that I could not present it. And the male leader would present my work. And I had to also prepare his talking points because he literally didn't know anything about it. You know, he didn't know why we made those choices, literally anything. And so I had to outline like even how the sausage was made. And then he just like got to go up there and like tell everyone about it. And then it happened multiple times on this team that I was a part of. And so I was sharing this with a woman. I wasn't like trying to like talk some shit all at the barbecue. And then all these men came over and they were like, sorry, we were overhearing your conversation. And I was like, oh no, I have to leave. But they were actually really cool. And they were like, you know, we wanted to hear more about that experience. And like, and I appreciate that gesture, but the fact that they were still surprised that that happened was still just a little discouraging. And there was this older man and he was like, you know, I'm a VP of this company and we don't allow those sorts of things to happen in my workplace. You know, I know some of the people you work with, like if you give me their names. And I was like, whoa, sir, like that's a lot. Like that's a lot of advocacy. Thank you. But this is someone who's never faced retaliation, being suppressed, having your work taken credit for. So I didn't obviously do anything about it, but her situation just made me recollect some of those moments.
Also, Claire works for a very small company. None of you guys would ever know what it is.
No.
It's not very well known. But I worry about Margaret right now specifically because, like, I'm worried she's going to get some of that overconfidence, right? Like, she's getting so much good feedback with this that she's like, oh, maybe now I like start to really use my voice, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, girl, wait a little bit longer, maybe.
Yeah. I think maybe what I'm hoping will happen for Margaret is she'll like have established herself as a legitimate writer for this large magazine. And hopefully she'll be able to get hired at a magazine that's more progressive. That's what I'm hoping happens for Margaret. We'll see.
Yeah. I think you and I have such different
I didn't realize
workplaces and work cultures.
I thought we were like twins.
I know. I work in a huge company.
It's the hugest.
It's the hugest that there is.
It's as big as they get people.
Have you watched Hidden Figures?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Great.
I thought about that a lot. And that one's not even, I mean, it's not all just because she was a woman, but also because a woman of color.
Yeah, it's like another layer there because
that was a great movie.
Totally. Yana, what's your food rating for these set of pages?
Okay, I was thinking, have you ever had those moments where you're like really looking forward to chocolate and you find chocolate in your house? You're like, fuck yeah, I planned ahead. And then you open the chocolate.
Said chocolate.
And it's like...
melted?
Not melted, but it does that graying.
Oh, it's like chalking and...
I'm like salivating.
Because you want chocolate.
I want chocolate. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, it kind of does the like, it's not its freshest anymore. Yeah. And you're like... still gonna eat this because it's not like spoiled, but it's just not like at its prime. And I just felt like these women are working so hard to like keep their marriages good.
Yeah.
And they're not all the way goners yet. But they're just
minus Viv and Tony.
Yeah, they're just not good.
It's not good.
It's not the best. They're all hoping for the best, but it's just kind of meh. Yeah. And it just seems to be getting worse.
I'm glad you feel the same way I did. I think so far, these pages are the only ones where I felt depressed after. Yeah. I was like, this did not end on a happy note
but
for
I also
me.
was still very into it. Like, I still wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
I definitely... This is one of those books that I wish I didn't have to read in 50-page increments.
Yeah, I would have probably finished it last night, honestly. But yeah, mine's just kind of in the same vein. It's like, I was thinking about when you go out to a nice restaurant that you're excited to try. And, you know, it's one of those like family style where you get little nibbles. They're always a little expensive, right? And then you get all these dishes and they're good, but they're just not that great, not worth the hype. Not worth the price. And you just kind of leave there being like, my wallet's a little bit lighter and my stomach's full. I still have to work off these calories and it just really wasn't worth it at the end of the day. You know? That's how I felt by the end of these chapters.
Cool. Have you been reading anything else other than...
Brimstone?
Yeah, I want to say Agatar always.
You'll be pleased to know that I picked Brimstone back up last night.
So pleased.
I had to pause it because I had too many books going on and I couldn't like manage the fantasy universe in the mix of all the other things. But that's all I have right now is just Brimstone in this book. What about you?
Still Heart the Lover, though I didn't read any this week because I've been away vacationing. And I haven't been able to pick it back up yet, but I am looking forward to picking it back up because I was getting to a good spot. So still reading that. And watching Love Island is a full-time job.
I know,
So,
for all of you people obsessed with that.
Yeah, so don't worry, today is the finale.
Thank God for all of us, for all of
and
humanity.
Honestly, I mean, some of the episodes are like an hour and a half. Every day.
God, who has time for
Every
that?
day but Wednesday. Every day but hump day, you guys.
I mean, it has a huge following,
A
so it
huge
sounds like
following.
I'm just the one who's not with it.
Don't.
Believe me, I won't. You know I won't. I don't get into that.
But like, god damn.
Not that I judge people who do. It's just not for me.
She does judge.
I sit here on my couch all day and just judge everyone.
Literally. Just to wrap this shit up, remember, you guys,
we love you.
We love you.
We hope you love us too.
And if you don't, that's okay, but keep trying because you'll fall in love with us eventually. Everyone always does.
Even if you don't, can you still just follow us on your favorite podcast review platform and tap that 5-star like you too have healed a horse when someone was going to put it down.
Yeah, just like that. When you're tapping that 5-star, think about that.
You
that
have
is
the
what
knowledge
you should.
to do it. It's kind of a bad one, but I think
That's okay.
maybe
We can
it's
only
okay.
be so funny and perfect so often.
It's hard to be so funny all the time, you know?
Yeah,
it's a full-time job.
Yeah, and when we're not podcasting, we're still really funny.
We're actually funnier because we can be
ourselves,
even more uncensored.
Yeah, for sure. But we love you. We love reading.
So
we
with
love
that,
each other.
I love you so much.
I love you more
than
you
anything.
Yeah,
minus Butters.
Minus Augie.
So we're equal.
I would really prefer we didn't actually share the identity of our children on this platform.
I think we've already said their names multiple times.
Oh, okay. But no photos, please.
So if nothing else, dear friends, remember,
keep on reading.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.